Hello, good day to you all. Welcome to Realism, the podcast, a show that's passionate about the film world and all the universes within it. My name is Christian Spivey, and this episode is entitled Joke. We are covering Joker 2. I don't know how to say the title. I honestly forgot how to say the title, but it's just the sequel to the original Joker movie. It is again directed by Todd Phillips, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix alongside Lady Gaga. A dynamic duo, a duo that we didn't know we wanted until we got it, or at least according to reviews, something we should have never got. But that's just other people's opinions and just people just jumping on the hate train and really just giving it I don't know what to call it, just throwing hate where I think people just go for it and go off their first reaction and what they heard probably first. I do that a lot, and I kind of just like take a step back now a little bit, but whatever. Let's just get into this review. Before we get into this, just know that this is a spoiler alert right now. I am spoiling this film a lot, so just you have been warned. I'm going to go off the bat and say that I like this film. I do not care what anybody says. I mean, anybody says that. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I liked it. I hated it. I don't care what you say. It's my opinion. Yeah, I know. That's what it is. I liked it truly as a film, though. Like, as a cinema lover and a person who loves DC Comics, musicals, and just cinematic movies and people just really having fun with their work, and just a standalone film on its own in a sense. Like I that's why I enjoyed it, because it gave me a little bit of everything that I already like. And if you put it all together and you do it well, which I thought they did, which I believe they did, then you have something that I would consider a pretty good film. If I were to rate this film right off the bat, I would give it a 7 point. No, I just say I'll be pretty. I thought about it for a while. I was between a 6 and a 7 for a while. I was like, oh, let me just do the 6.5. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna give it a solid number. It just feels like that kind of film, you know what I mean? But as a lot of people would give Joker to a 2, I would give Joker to a 7. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm not going against the grain. I'm not giving you the hipster answer that most people I feel like would give, and I do think it has a lot of faults, but a lot of movies if you really want to nitpick it. But I don't think people are really going to depth and really thinking about why they don't like this film. They just are like, oh my gosh, you ruined Joker, oh my gosh, the first one, whatever. There's a lot of main issues, and I can go with that, and what are my main issues, and what my main issues are with everyone, audience and critics, are how they're ripping it apart. But just know that if you like movies, you should like this movie, in my opinion. It's fun, it's humor, it's balance. I feel like the actors, every single actor was on beat on everything, like just met their beats and really had fun with the roles and really embraced it. Was everyone utilized the way they should have? No, I don't think Lady Gaga was utilized the way that she should have been, but I think everyone else did a pretty good job. I think she did a good job. I just don't think she was utilized more. What I mean by that is I wanted to see her more, and I wanted to see her more in a Harley Quinn image. That I just wanted to see her more in a better costume. That felt kind of lazy in a sense, but let's get into it real quick. This is going to be fairly short, but I really want to knock out this season. Not because I just want to get it over with. Partially, I'll be honest, that's part of it. But also, it's just like this is a film that got really a lot of buzz, and I feel like this is something I really want people to talk about and know why I like this film. Anyway, here are some of my main issues. I kind of just utilized. I kind of just said what I did. Lady Gaga wasn't utilized properly, in my opinion. And right off the bat, I feel like musicals have a bad rep. I feel like everyone just like whined and moaned all the way down the road until when they heard it was a musical. They're like, oh my gosh, what is Todd Phillips doing? Why did Joaquin Phoenix join this movie? Blah, blah, blah. Bro, musicals have been around. Musicals are great. If you've been to a Broadway show and you enjoyed it, you like musicals. If you've ever seen one live, you understand. If you've ever been a part of any theater production, you understand why musicals are great, and you have of course, you have a better insight of it. But also, it's just very, I feel like, really cool to utilize your body as a tool and to your craft as an actor, to really just not only sing, but like you're singing your lines, so which is what we would probably call show tunes. It's really, and then you still have to act on top of that, because I feel like there's a slight difference. It's just a different form of acting, how I look at it. But it's like you have these lines, these lyrics, and you're saying it in a certain tone to deliver it and deliver the way it needs to be, and but also still hone in and really deliver on the culture that you are a part of as far as musicals go. That's being wise. And then you have like acting, like you just have to deliver on that emotional threshold too as well, and that's, I feel like, very difficult to do. So I have mad respect for musicals, and if you don't like musicals, I would definitely think about it a little bit harder. That's just my opinion. I feel like another issue that people had is like they took a beloved character, and what I read, people said you turned him a little goofy. And they're not talking, I mean, the Joker is goofy in his own psychotic sense, in his own psychotic right or whatever. Like he's goofy in some sense, in some aspects, throughout comics and movies, but they're directly talking about from the first film, which is another issue that we could talk about for a while. But comparative what the Joker or Joaquin Phoenix Joker was in the first Joker and this one, like, you made him way too goofy. He's just like, what is this Arkham Asylum? Smoking cigarettes and singing songs. It's a musical. That's what it is. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not goofy. It's just like you don't understand probably show tunes and how or musicals, how people need to sing in a certain way. And I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is a vocalist, but I do believe that he got the tone right for what Arthur Fleck Joker would sound like as in them. And I think he did it really well. I'm not the biggest Joaquin Phoenix fans, but I think he's a great actor overall, and I feel like he really dives into his characters, whether it's method acting or not. But overall, they turned him goofy. But yeah, I feel like if you really understand what they were trying to do, you would understand like why that feels like that. Maybe I didn't think it was goofy. I just know what direction they were going with. Also, a lot of people, I feel like, have an issue with just not utilizing the darkness from its original predecessor, like what its original predecessor had. It's like, oh, this was super dark and now this is a little more lighthearted. It's like, why did you lighten up? I'm like, I don't know. Like, people wanted it to be the court drama that everyone was like hoping and praying to be, with a little bit of song. And it's like, no, I think you still got all of that in a sense. But if you watch the ending, you kind of understand like why he was the way he was, and he admits, and you kind of just flat out says what you need to know. It's like he was never the Joker as what we would come to know as the Joker. That guy killed Arthur Fleck. I feel like that's what people kind of miss there. It's like the Joker persona that Arthur Fleck created in a sense and kind of started, but was like, that's not me, and discovered from his own self, created the like actual Joker. So the Joker persona created what looks to be like the actual Joker, someone who we don't know his identity. We just know that he was just there, and he was just crazy, and he actually was funny in a sense. Arthur Fleck was not funny. He was a tryhard. The Joker isn't tryhard. He just says things, and like he's psychotic in that, and he has a dark humor element to him. That's what makes him funny, and he's unknown to, and that's why Batman is like, I feel like obsessed with him in some sense. But I feel like Arthur Fleck's Joker persona created the actual Joker we come to know, the psychotic clown of crime or whatever he's called. But yeah, I think that's what a lot of people didn't really pick up on, at least right away. I'm not saying you won't or didn't. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a really cool way to end that kind of series and movie. Yeah, you could have ended it with the first one and not made this. Yeah, I agree that it would have been fine. we didn't really need this. But I don't think it was a bad film. What everyone's saying it to be like one of the worst films, like, and whatever. It was worse than Madam Web. It was worse than Morbius. No, those were pretty rushed and pretty bad. This is an artist doing its thing. Like Todd Phillips and all of them, I feel like did a really good job. It works. If you think if you think of it as a standalone film, then I feel like that's what you should do first for all your films. Like you should just think of it as a standalone by itself, even if it's a sequel or a spin-off or whatever. Just solely look at it as a movie itself. And a great example of like doing this is like The Last Jedi. Like look at The Last Jedi as a film just by itself and all that, and it's good. Now you can enter the elements and all that. I'm saying you're not allowed to do that. You should do that after the fact as you look at it. Don't say it's a bad film right off the bat when you don't really take anything else into consideration and really just think about it. So Joker 2 as a film by itself, cool. I liked it. Yeah, it's great. And that's where I'm really coming from. Sure, directly after the Joker as a sequel or whatever, not so hot. I can get behind that too. I'm not trying to be the all-around guy, but I can see all perspectives and all opinions and where you're coming from and all that. If you directly compare a widely positive received first film to its sequel, I feel like you'll always just end up being disappointed. And that's just, I feel like a lot of people's issues is like, oh, it's a sequel. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to do because most of the movies that we're getting this year and next year are sequels or spin-offs or something that's remade. So I get it. It's super easy to do. It's probably convenient to do, but try not to. And I feel like you'll be a little bit less disappointed, in my opinion. But overall, Joker 2 was great. I liked it a lot. Tell me if you didn't like it, but tell me why. And if you take anything into what I said into consideration and you apply it to your thought process and it helps you not change your perspective, but really think about your answer before you respond to me, I guess, that would be really cool. If not, I totally understand. You can do whatever you want. If you just want to go with how you felt right off the bat, then I totally understand. I do that with some films. Like I do that with most of the films I really received positively. I just stick with it because that's how I felt. It was so profound and all that. And if that's it for you, then that's cool too. I'm just, talking on camera and just giving my 2 cents because I love talking about this stuff. So, but that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys. Stay inspired, stay entertained, and we'll see you next week or next time. Bye.